Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from New York City here at the MLG Studios. I'm axeltoss, he's axslav. You're watching the Winter Season Showdowns, a best of 5 between Roro and Hero. Hero is currently up 1-0 in this best of 5. But before we get into Game 2, I want to do a quick plug of the YouTube channel. You just saw the commercial, youtube.com/official MLG SE2. If we can transition to my screen over here. I'm like so proud of you guys, seriously. Yesterday we were at 2,000 subscribers, I think, and today we're at 2,860. That's a ridiculous amount of subscriptions you gave us, and I really, really appreciate it on behalf of MLG. And of course, we can. The goal here for me is to catch Call of Duty. I really want to do it, and I need more of you guys' help. We're at 2,860. Call of Duty, they're at 8,579. Now, I know that number seems daunting, but I want to do this by the end of the week. I think we can do it if we slowly but steadily obtain those subscribers. So please, please, please head on over to youtube.com/official MLG SE2, your source for awesome StarCraft 2 content. Of course, Comment of the Day was just recently released. It's a nice little segment that has begun where I take a comment from a YouTube channel or Reddit or something, and I talk about it, and we talk about it together. It's a lot of fun. And of course, Rules of Engagement stuff is here. We have every single video from the Winter Season Showdowns. Every single game will be in this playlist. Of course, here are the games from yesterday, Partying vs. Fantasy, available in 1080p HD. Great resource. If you missed the live stream, you have YouTube available. So again, youtube.com/official MLG SE2. If you can take a little bit of time out of your day to visit that website, hit that subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate it. We did awesome yesterday, got about 800 new subscribers. Let's see if we can get even more today. I believe in you guys. Go hit that subscribe button. That being said, Game 2, Roro versus Hero. I think we are ready to begin.
You know one thing, while we're getting this replay, this game loaded up here, while you're going to YouTube and subscribing, check out that third game between Party and Fantasy. If you missed it yesterday, the Game 3 was really, really fun. It wasn't super long, so you don't have to, push back your appointments, for the whole day or anything. But it was very entertaining. I'd encourage everyone to go check it out.
Yeah, great series we saw yesterday, of course. All VODs are available in 1080p HD. YouTube.com/official MLG SE2. That being said, let's go ahead and get into game number 2 between Roro and Hero, where Hero is currently up 1-0. Pretty convincing win in game number 1, able to catch Roro completely off guard. We didn't see a lot of hotsy stuff occur, but that could all change on this map. It is Daybreak. In the top right-hand location, we have the Red Zerg player from Samsung Khan. Arguably their ace player, just took out Flash recently in Pro League. He is Roro. His opponent in the bottom left-hand location, it's the blue Protoss player, currently up 1-0. 2 wins away from getting a spot at the Winter Championships in Dallas, Texas on March 15th. From CJ Entis, he is Hero.
You mentioned we didn't see too much hotsy stuff. In that last game. I mean, that's true if you're thinking of just units that are entirely new units. But if you think about all the changes made to HOTS, there were some pretty big impacts that played effect in that game. I mean, the Phoenixes having a 5 range instead of 4 allowed them to do so much more damage to the drone line working around that Spore Crawler. And of course, the Infestor projectile being animation made it much more harder for Roro to hit those Phoenixes, allowing him to do more damage to the Infestors, escape from the harass. There's all these changes come into play, and they aren't necessarily things you obviously notice, but they will end up making significant gameplay changes in the way people approach the game.
Now, along that point, we obviously saw Roro open up with that 10 pool. Obviously, I don't think that he was able to quite accomplish what he was hoping for. How much of a disadvantage did he put himself in by going for that 10 pool, or was it significant at all, considering how fast he got his queen and how he was able to obtain that early map control?
It's really hard to tell the exact, differential. I would say to put him at a small disadvantage.
Right.
And obviously it hurt him a good amount, but Hero also had to delay his Nexus for a good amount too. So
yeah,
I think it did slow the Zerg player down slightly more than the Protoss, but it wasn't a huge factor as far as the way that game went.
All right, in this game we have no such early pool, very standard 14 pool, followed up by that hatchery. Meanwhile, Hero getting that Nexus first, adding on a Forge Gateway and Cannon. That Cannon should be able to finish in time before these 4 Lings reach his side of the map.
Looks like they're escorting that probe, doesn't it?
It does, front, but I can assure you, they want that probe very dead.
Protection detail is going to turn that probe in just a second.
I think he might die, yep.
Oh, he's going to die, and one Zergling pays the price. Cannon says, don't mess with my little friend.
Well, the Cannon wanted revenge. All right, we got Roro here taking a third base. Very standard play. And we'll have to see what these guys do. I mean, Roro taking a third base here. Last game he took 2 bases. And remember that probe from here was able to get inside Roro's main base, was able to see the gas timings. When when you see lack of a third and a gas from your Zerg opponent, maybe you're kind of thinking something like Spire. Maybe that's what kind of persuaded him to go for that Stargate play. So there's a lot of things to consider. Obviously, in the game of StarCraft 2, information is everything. And we'll have to see what these 2 players do. But I like Roro's opening so far. Getting those 3 hatcheries down, getting those drones in production. And we'll have to look out for those gases. They should be going down fairly soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Phoenixes seem to do really, really great against any type of 2-base layer thing. I mean, obviously they're good against Mutalisk. Now the Infestors are a little bit weaker and the Phoenix range is a little stronger. They're probably very good against a 2-base Infestor as well. And obviously Swarm was Cannonair. Again, going for that Stargate play is Hero. Will he choose for Phoenixes again, or is he going to try something a little bit different? Perhaps an Oracle. We saw Parting was so effective with that Oracle yesterday.
This is actually kind of deja vu-ish from yesterday. Game 1, we saw Parting go for Stargate. Game 2, we saw Parting go for Stargate. Here, we're seeing Hero going for Stargate in both of his first 2 games, working out in Game 1, and we'll have to see if he changes it up a little bit in Game 2. We're about to find out if it's an Oracle. But no, it is going to be a Phoenix, I should say. Phoenix is a little bit better in Heart of the Swarm than Wings of Liberty. And Roro has 3 Overlords on this side of the map, so I'm not in a disagreement with Hero whatsoever at this point.
I mean, yeah, minimum there's 3 Overlord kills. Of course, 1 or 2 of those Overlords may die anyway to the Stalker Sentry. In fact, that one... Well, actually, it looks like he's going to end up revealing the Phoenixes. Of course, the Overlord would have
probably
gotten in, with the route that's going, would have seen it anyway. So might as well kill it as fast as possible to supply block the Zerg as fast as possible. This is a general rule. Damage done earlier in the game is more important than damage done later in the game. If you supply block the Zerg early before they have many drones, it costs them more to fix that problem than it does if they have 90 drone economy.
Yep. Absolutely right. We have a Stalker getting over anxious here, coming to the middle of the map, going to be tracked down by these Lings, but the Stalker will be able to sneak away. But yeah, Hero has revealed the Phoenixes and immediately dropping down a robotics facility and starting a very fast Warp Prism. Also has +1 weapons on the way and adding a bunch of gateways. We'll have to see if he tries to do some sort of gateway aggression into his opponent's main base.
You know, this could be one of those builds we used to see where you kind of denied Zerg's vision. Did he drop units in their main, use those force fields on the ramp?
Oh, yeah.
To just absolutely deny any type of ability for Zerg to save their main base.
All right, Roro placing Spore Crawlers in each of his mineral lines, adding on a Hydralisk Den. So he's decided the Hydralisk is the path of choice as far as his tech is concerned. +1 missile attacks is on the way. Hydras are a little bit better in Heart of the Swarm, significantly better, I would say, compared to Wings of Liberty. So we'll have to see if this is the right choice here from Roro, but his opponent is making that robotics bay, so that means Colossi might be in play. We might have to see a Viper transition here from Roro, try to mix in Roaches, Hydras, and Vipers. Look at these Phoenixes, though, taking down a lot of drones there in the main.
They are. I mean, that's that 5 range to play. Again, they're able to stay a little bit more outside that Spore Crawler range. Of course, they still take damage, but even taking 1 less shot as you run in and out, that adds up as you can keep utilizing that 1 extra shot time and time again with that shield regeneration ability.
All right, we have Hero still trying to get some damage done with these Phoenixes. Units lost tab shows 731 to 75. CJ Hero has only lost 1 unit, and it's been 10 minutes in this game. Meanwhile, we have Roro going for a counterattack with the Lings, coming across to his opponent's third base. There is a Mothership Core there. Very nice utility to have. Use that Mothership Core to help defend that third, but I think Hero's going to have to cancel this and remake it once these Lings are gone.
He is. I mean, that's definitely a 100 mineral loss there, not to mention the time on expansion. The Zergies aren't done yet.
Wow.
Getting that sentry.
3 fast force fields there to try to protect it, but it is going to die at the cost of a few Lings. Roro trying to even up that resources lost tab, but still well into CJ Hero's favor. Still trying to be aggressive with those Phoenixes, but the Hydras are now in the field. And as we see the Hydras, we're seeing a Colossus in production. So Hero is on top of everything, finally putting down that third back down again. And now we're seeing a Protoss player going into this Colossus production being pretty proactive about those upgrades. Looks like he has +2 weapons and +1 armor on the way. What kind of composition would you suggest Roro should go for in this situation?
Well, he's already getting the Spire. That's always a good option. Corruptors, of course, not only good against the Colossus, but can also help out against those pesky Phoenixes as well. You know, the Roach Hydra, I don't think he should stick on that for too much. As we see, he's made a small group. Oh, nice. Ambushing some Phoenixes there. And a cool tool Roro used there is he put his Hydras where you wouldn't expect them. You know, if you know they have... Oh, again! Oh! The Phoenixes have got to be careful.
So close, that one's dead for sure. And I love how Roro clicked as close as possible before firing with those Hydras.
Not only that, he got the Observer as well.
Yes, the Overseer.
Hero is just... These Hydras are doing significant damage. And the amazing thing here, this isn't like Roro's making 30 Hydras where he's going to get eviscerated by Colossi. He just made a small group, putting some pressure on Hero, getting him scared. And then while Hero is scared of this Hydras force, behind it, 12 Mutas are being produced.
And +1 attack on those Mutas. Very nice play here from Roro, trying to throw his opponent off guard, trying to take him off guard with those Mutas as his opponent is going for those Colossi. So Roro approaching this third base. He doesn't care too much about losing these units, but wants to be as cost efficient as possible, going straight for that mineral line, but now he's going to have to engage the Colossus.
Losing those Zerglings, but you know, the mining damage done isn't too bad, making sure that Hero is afraid of this ground force, still reacting to that, maintaining his Roach Hydra army, so the threat is still there. But look at the main. The real true threat is what's coming in right now.
Muta's going straight for that main mineral line, targeting down every single one of those probes. Blink, thankfully for Hero, is almost finished. Also, remember, he was prioritizing those upgrades a little bit earlier, so he has 1-1 on the field, about to get +2 weapons. Meanwhile, we have Roro advancing into his opponent's third base. The Muta is still trying to get as much damage done as possible. This is the multitasking I'd love to see from these Pro League pros. The Muta is still trying to engage these Stalkers, and the Roaches and Hydras engaging into that third, but Hero going to be returning back to deal with that with this Colossi.
Oh, beautiful time warp by the Mothership Core there, stopping those Hydras. The Colossi are tearing them up. But meanwhile, back in the main, are the Mutas done yet, or are they still doing more
Still
and more
attacking
damage?
probes. Hero's trying to get a cannon down. Stalker's trying to protect that oh-so-important economy, but Roro getting a lot of damage done. The question is all of this worth it? Units lost tab glance says 4981 to 3450, still in Hero's favor. So let's see the workers killed 19-7. Income tab is 82 to 55, and Roro has a 4th and 5th hatchery on the field. I think this is going just fine for Roro.
It is. I mean, it's okay to trade at a small disadvantage for trading units you don't want anyway any longer. Those Roaches and the Hydras you want to get rid of.
Third.
And economic damage is adding up so much. The third Nexus is going to go down.
Great pick off there from Roro. Stalker's trying to come back to save, to salvage a little bit of efficiency here, but Roro's just going to back away with the Lings and Mutas, two of the most mobile units in the game. And now Hero has to make a decision. Do I just bunch up all my units and go for an attack? Do I try to secure a third and desperately defend all 3 of my mineral lines? That can be very hard to do on Daybreak, especially against such a mobile composition as what Roro has, especially against a player whose multitasking ability is as phenomenal as Roro's. Hero's going to have an uphill climb here if he wants to win this game.
It looks like he's retreated into a tortoise shell, just 2 bases, of course, realizing that you can't quite deal with that Muta's force in all 3. But he's still going to lose a couple extra buildings here, losing power on those 2 gateways. I don't know what he can really do from this situation. Perhaps it's build up and go for one big strike to try to knock Roro out, because the longer he waits, the more the income disparity is going to basically put him in a worse and worse position.
Yeah, adding on a lot of sentries as well. I feel like he might just wait for 3-2 on those upgrades and then go for the attack, focusing on defending his initial 2 bases. Meanwhile, Roro is preparing for the inevitable attack, adding on spine crawlers at this middle base, saturating the gas as much as possible, making more and more drones to make more and more spine crawlers. However, you have to have something to deal with the Colossus, I think. And there's the Infestation Pit. So the Infestation Pit is about to be finished, but remember, he has to research pathogen glands and then get the Infestors out. We'll have to see if he can get those out in time to help deal with this push from Hero.
This is a very, very scary push to deal with just Mutalist. Hero's upgrades are very good, and they're only getting better, but Roro's economy is just so insane. He's got some spine crawlers going out to help himself buy some time if the attack does come. Trying to trade Mutas for Stalkers here, but you know what? I don't know how well that trade actually went for him. The Stalkers are just so devastating with the upgrades Hero has.
He might just be thinking, all right, I'm going to try to keep my opponent at home. It's okay if I lose a Mutalisk or two, as long as I buy time. But Hero is content to stay at home for now. Again, he's waiting for that 3-2 upgrade before pushing across the map. And now that it's about to finish, I feel like we're getting close to time. Approaching max to 176 out of 188. Roro is preparing a Zergling counterattack, has a pack of Zerglings at the top left-hand side of the map. Once he sees his opponent move out to that watchtower, he should be moving in with those Lings. And look at this. Look at this amount of Stalkers here from Hero. He's approaching his opponent's watchtower at this point. But does Roro have enough to deal with this?
I don't know, he's got a lot of spines, but that's such a scary Protoss army. Force fields, Guardian Shields, Time Warps, all at Hero's disposal there. Even bringing some pros with him in anticipation of the base rates. A genius move there to tuck him in that Warp Prison.
All right, we have a base trade scenario of sorts here. Hero engaging his opponent's 5th base, taking down every single spine crawler very methodically, blinking the Stalkers forward. Meanwhile, we have the Mutas and Lings ravaging Hero's base on the other side of the map. Nick is going to take an eye on that with his screen. I'll take a look at Hero's attack with my screen, taking down every single drone. 5 more spine crawlers being added on by Roro, and I'm trying to theorize how this is going to end up. It looks like Roro is focusing his defenses on his bottom right expansion, but Hero is slowly losing everything. Does he have any probes with his main army?
He does have that Warp Prison full of probes. Where has it gotten to? It's got to be somewhere, but the question is this.
It's at the top right-hand side of the map.
Okay, to the top right-hand side of the map. What can that Warp Prism do that's going to be super, super effective against this many Mutalisks?
He has 1,100, that's true. He has 1,100 minerals. As long as he can drop at least 1 probe before that Warp Prism dies, he can continue to build units.
Man, this is so many Mutalisks. I almost feel to the point where they could defeat the whole army.
49.
Just with pure attack move. I mean, this is the amount of Mutalisks that it's just extremely scary. There's no Storm, no mass ranged Phoenix.
No AoE.
I don't know how he's going to deal with him. He's got the pylon in the main, and Mutas could just focus that out, though. Or they could even go for the army kill. I think Roro's just being safe here, not willing to risk
He could just go after the pylon. If the pylon dies, then Hero loses this game. Okay, rebuild another one immediately. The remaining buildings here from Hero are slowly being eliminated from his main base. He has to keep this pylon alive. It is now officially his last building in this game. He has 900 minerals left. He has some probes left as well. And now Roro has to decide, okay, do I go for these buildings, or do I go for my opponent's army, or do I just sit back, do I just chill at my base in the bottom right, hope knowing my opponent can't really rebuild as efficiently as I can? Because look at this, Roro still has a good amount of drones. He's still a good amount. He only has 9 drones, but he's still mining, which Hero isn't.
Yeah, I mean, Hero's not mining, and Hero, if he leaves those pylons, Roro will come in and just knock him out with the Mutalisk.
Yep.
Hero's pretty much stuck here. Maybe have to wait for the creep to recede and then take an expansion. But wait, does he not have an observer with his army? Does he have any observers?
No observer.
He can't kill the creep.
Oh.
Which means he can't build a Nexus.
Yeah.
I mean, he could build one into main, but there's like 2 little blips of minerals. It's like, that won't even pay for the Nexus.
How many probes? He has 6 probes.
Yeah, I mean, I think
even if you build a Nexus and start mining, it's like Roro is just going to continue surging ahead.
He's got to
make
move on the bottom right,
yeah.
and he's got to bring a probes with him. He has 700 minerals, so if he hides probes around the map, he could try to build more. Oh, this is what he's doing. I actually kind of think this might be his best option. Taking the top, trying to build a Nexus, start from scratch. It's a tough choice, though, because this is a position where, like, if he tries to attack Roro will just base race him and win, right?
Yeah.
That's almost a given. If he sits back, he's in such a bad spot. You mentioned there's only 6 probes. There's more than 6 drones. And then there's the fact that he can't even... An interesting time warp on his own army there. Testing it out, probably, seeing if it slows down his units. It does not, in fact. But yeah, so even if he gets this up and mining with 6 probes, he can't build more probes until he builds about 15 different pylons.
Ugh, that's so true.
Right? Whereas Roro kept his Overlords alive for the most part, right?
Yep, they're all there in the top right.
I mean, this is just a desperate situation, but I do think what he's doing is the best shot. Yes, it'll take him forever to rebuild, but at least he has a shot because he does have these highly upgraded units. Very, very, very cost effective. And, you know, eventually he might be getting enough defenses here. Maybe with a good time warp, he can get the opportunity to kill the Mutas flock if they are over eager and harassing, and time warp combined with a blink could maybe, I don't know. But it's some chance, whereas the base race against Zerg is, at least Zerg going Mutas, is just never going to work.
Now, Roro is starting to add on more Mutas here. I mean, his Spire is still alive. I think Yeah, the creep.
In the back of his
Roro
third.
actually started extending creep towards it, so Woodsdale, I remember a hatcher used to be here. So Roro doing a great job keeping that Spire alive, focusing on the gas income here at his fourth.
And he's,
I guess what would be his fourth.
He's spreading creep over towards the left side of the map as well.
Might have been engagement. Hero just spent his blink, so they won't be able to retreat as well. Roro taking out
couple stalkers there.
3 stalkers.
And I don't think he lost any mutas, if maybe only one. And if he just keeps up these trades, of course, he can keep rebuilding these mutas. He mentioned there's 3 more on the way. Hero can't rebuild anything but pylons.
Yeah.
I mean, he's stuck literally building nothing but pylons for the next foreseeable future. One soccer when his scout sees a spine forest. That is depressing.
GG.
Realizes he's in a tough spot there, leaves the game.
I mean, when you see all those spines, you're doing the math in your head, you're starting to build these pylons, you're like, okay, I'm going to have to make this amount of pylons. It's going to take me this amount of time based on my income rate of, this amount, X amount, whatever you want to call it. And then he scouts with his probe, sees a forest of spine crawlers, knowing his opponent has probably had that base for a while, considering the amount of spines, considering how far the creep was out. And then realizing, okay, he probably has a lot of drones there, seeing that the Mula's count is getting higher and higher. There's not much choice there for Hero, but to throw down the GG, and he's going to even up the series 1-1.
Nice victory there, 1-1. Roro showing that he's really strong those late macro games. Multitasking was phenomenal there. Hero's got his work cut out from the game 3.
I mean, Mutalisks, of course, are a little bit better in Heart of the Swarm. Of course, they have a faster regeneration right now. I think they're a little bit faster too.
They are.
Their
Moon
acceleration?
speed 4 instead of 3.75.
Okay, so Mutalisks are a little bit faster, and Roro showing how good, how well they can be used. I love the play, testing his opponent's multitasking ability. Roro has some of the best multitasking in the game of StarCraft 2. We see it a lot in Pro League. We got to see it today in game number 2, of course, attacking into the main base, the main mineral line with his mutas, while at the same time attacking with Lings into the third base and his Roaches and Hydras, and eventually was able to take out the third. And once Hero is in that situation where his third is gone, he still has a big army, but there's always going to be the threat of mutas, and the muta pack, it's not getting any smaller. It's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. You have to make a decision. Was it the right call there for Hero, waiting until 3-2 and then attacking, or would you have done something different?
I think he did it right. He was just too far behind at that point.
Yeah. It's tough to say, do you try to get a high tempo archives down and just spend your gas on a high tempo? It's such a tough decision. Hero tried to make it work. It didn't for him. But the good news is this is a best of 5, guys. Tell your friends. Get on Team Local. Get on Reddit. Get people in here. This is an awesome best of 5 in Heart of the Storm. Of course, the winner gets a spot at the Winter Championships in Dallas, Texas on March 15th. Roro and Hero are tied 1-1. Game 3 coming up.